So today being the auspicious appearance day of Srila Gadadhar Pandit, I'd like to read from Sri Caitanya Bhagavat about the meeting of Gadadhar Pandit with Pundarika Vidyanidihi. Gadadhar Pandit and Mukunda were very dear friends and always kept each other's company. Mukunda thus told Gadadhar Pandit, "Listen carefully, Gadadhar, a very great devotee has come to Navadvip. You have been hankering for the association of pure Vaishnavas, and today your desire will be fulfilled. I will take you to see a wonderful Vaishnav devotee. In return for this, I simply want you to think of me as your dear servant." The excited and happy Gadadhar Pandit called out the name of Krishna as they proceeded towards the great Vaishnav's residence with Mukunda. Arriving there, they found Pundarika Vidyanidihi sitting comfortably. Gadadhar offered his obeisances and was respectfully seated. Vidyanidihi inquired from Mukunda, "What is his name, and from which village does he come? I can see that his body is effulgent due to rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Both his form and demeanor are extremely wonderful." "His name is Sri Gadadhar," Mukunda replied. "He is very fortunate, because from early childhood he has been totally detached from family life. In his external material identity, he is the son of the Brahmin Sri Madhva Mishra. Since he is absorbed in devotional service, he only associates with Vaishnavas, and he is extremely dear to all the devotees. When he heard about you, he was anxious to meet you." After hearing the wonderful qualities of Gadadhar Pandit, Vidyanidihi was very pleased to meet him. The great personality, Sri Pundarika Vidyanidihi, sat like a prince. His beautiful bed was made of wood, covered with intricate brass and reddish stone inlay work. Above it were 3 tiers of ornamental drapes made of glittering brocade cloth. He was seated on a soft mattress covered with clean, expensive sheets, and silk pillars were placed under his back. On either side of him, many small and large water pots sat within his reach, as well as a nice shining brass plate with neatly prepared betel pan upon it. 2 large ornate mirrors hung on either side of him, into which he continually glanced, while smiling with lips reddened from chewing pan. He wore a sandalwood paste tilak mark upon his forehead, and his face was decorated with dots made from a mixture of sandalwood and perfume. As for his hair, it was well groomed and shining with delicately perfumed hair oil. 2 persons stood behind him, fanning him gently with long peacock feathers, and in front of him was a nicely prepared hammock. As he followed a life of pure devotional service, he looked as charming as Cupid himself. Those who did not know him would consider him a prince, as everything about him and around him gave the impression that he was a man of the easy and comfortable life given to pleasure. When Gadadhar Pandit saw these luxurious items and a general atmosphere of materialistic life, he became suspicious. Since Gadadhar was a fully renounced soul from his early childhood, naturally some doubts regarding the character of Pundarika Vidyanidihi entered his heart. He thought, "What sort of a Vaishnava is he, surrounded by so much finery and lavish living?" Hearing about his devotional mood, I developed great respect for this person, but now, upon seeing him, it is slowly giving way to doubt and suspicion. Mukunda understood the mind and heart of Gadadhar Pandit. Thus he took it upon himself to reveal the true nature of Pundarika Vidyanidihi. By the special mercy of Lord Krishna, Gadadhar Pandit would be allowed to perceive everything. Nothing would remain unknown to him. In a very sweet voice, Mukunda began to sing a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, describing the glories of devotional service. "Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he, who granted the position of mother to the she-demon Putana? Putana was unfaithful and always hankering for the blood of human children. With that desire in mind, she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast and came to kill Krishna. But because she offered her breast to the Lord, she attained the greatest achievement." As soon as these words concerning devotional service entered his ears, Pundarika Vidyanidihi began to weep. Tears of ecstatic love welled up in his eyes, rolling down his face profusely like streams of the Ganga. Simultaneously, all the symptoms of ecstasy manifested on his person. He wept, trembled, rolled, horripilated, roared, and finally fell into an unconscious state of ecstasy. Then suddenly regaining consciousness, he said in a loud voice, "Speak, speak," and again fell down to the ground. Agitated with spiritual emotions, he kicked everything that was near him, and all the luxurious paraphernalia went crashing to the ground. The shining brass pots of water, the container of betel pan, pillows, bed sheets, everything became a confused jumble. He began tearing his fine clothes, and his well-groomed hair went haywire as he wept and rolled in the dust. He cried out, "O Krishna, my Lord, my soul, my very life, you have made me hard-hearted like a stone." He lamented loudly, piteously crying out, "I have been deprived of the Lord's association in his most merciful incarnation." He rolled around and crashed to the ground. Everyone was afraid he might break his bones. He trembled so violently that 3 persons could not hold him down. He kicked everything that was in his way, as his disciples stood by helplessly, unable to control him. In this way, the storm of ecstatic love continued until it finally abated, and he fell into an unconscious state of bliss. He lay down without breathing, totally submerged in an ocean of spiritual ecstasy. Amazed at what he had witnessed, Gadadhar Pandit began to worry, thinking, "What inauspiciousness has overcome me to make me think in such an offensive manner about this great personality?" He embraced Mukunda, being extremely pleased with him. Drenching him with tears of love, he said, "Mukunda, you have acted like a true friend. You have shown me a pure and unalloyed devotee of the Lord. It would be difficult to find another pure Vaishnava like him anywhere in this entire creation. One can become totally purified simply by observing his devotional attitude. Today, because you are right next to me, I have been able to avoid a great catastrophe. When I saw all the luxurious paraphernalia surrounding Pundarika Vidyanidihi, I was convinced that he was a materialistic Vaishnava given to the pleasures of life. You could read my mind, and being a greatly magnanimous soul, you have revealed to me the unlimited extent of Pundarika Vidyanidihi's love of Krishna. Yet today I have been offensive, and the extent of my offense can only be mitigated by your mercy. You must be merciful to me and purify my heart." All the devotees who have surrendered to the Lord by the process of devotional service have accepted the shelter and instructions of a guide. Yet I do not have such an instructor, so I have decided to take shelter of Pundarika Vidyanidihi and follow devotional service under his guidance. I shall counteract all my offences to him by becoming his disciple. Thus Gadadhar Pandit revealed to Mukunda his desire to become a disciple of Pundarika Vidyanidihi. Mukunda was extremely pleased with the decision and patted him on the back, saying, "Very good, very good." Sri Pundarika Vidyanidihi was in a state of ecstatic oblivion for 6 hours. Gradually he returned to his normal state and sat down quietly. It was impossible for Gadadhar Pandit to control the tears of joy which rolled profusely down his face, wetting his entire body. When Sri Vidyanidihi saw this, he embraced Gadadhar Pandit, holding him to his heart. Overwhelmed by Pundarika Vidyanidihi's ecstatic devotion, Gadadhar was unable to speak. Mukunda spoke up, revealing Gadadhar Pandit's mind. Doubt arose in Gadadhar's mind when he first saw your extravagant appearance and surroundings. But now he is repentant and wants to accept initiation from you. He is a renounced devotee of the Lord. Although he is young, he is mature in spiritual realization and comes from the very good family of Sri Madhva Mishra. From early childhood he has been attached to the Supreme Lord. I think this is a very good match. A most elevated spiritual master such as Pundarika Vidyanidihi, having an equally able disciple like Gadadhar Pandit. Please consider these points and choose an auspicious day to initiate him with your Diksha mantra,